Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is John Matthew from Impact Innovation Group, and we're working with the Queensland Government to deliver a series of webinars on behalf of the Office of Small Business. Today's topic is clever small business branding ideas that can save your business, with our guest presenter, Sirle Adamson from Upower. Just while we're waiting for the other people to connect into the webinar, I'll go through some of the tools we'll be using for those who haven't viewed a webinar with the Citrix GoToWebinar systems before. Your screen should look like this: a slide in the center and a control panel or dashboard on your right. This control panel will collapse automatically when you're not using it, so to keep it open, just click the View menu up the top and uncheck the Auto Hide Control Panel selection. During the webinar, we might ask you a question or two so we can better understand your experience with the topic. We'll ask you to raise your hand, and to do that, just click on the little blue hand icon on the side of the control panel. Remember to lower your hand afterwards just by clicking the icon again. There will also opportunities for you to ask questions, and we encourage you to do so. So the webinar can flow smoothly and we stick to our time allocated, we prefer to answer all questions at the end. But just so you know, you can send us questions anytime during the webinar. You can also use this function to let us know if you're having any problems during the broadcast, and we can help you immediately. Just as a test, can you all click the blue icon and raise your hands if you can hear me? Wonderful. Looking great, guys. We also have some handouts for you, which you can access and download by clicking on this section here. Sirle has kindly agreed to share her slide deck with us, and that's where you can access it. Now, please do not forget to download these documents, as they have been specifically prepared to help you better understand today's content. They will not be available to download after the completion of this webinar, so I remind you again to please download during the presentation. This webinar will also be available as a recording on YouTube. So now it's time for today's presenter. Sirle Adamson left her high-paying corporate job to found Upower Leadership Program after becoming increasingly aware that there is no support available for women who want to excel at small business, either being disadvantaged through geographical location, responsibilities at home, or general Australian culture gender stereotypes that dictate a woman's role in society. She's passionate and dedicated about assisting women to succeed in their chosen path through leadership programs and mentoring. Sirle believes that given the right opportunity, people with passion and purpose will always make a difference. She hopes to grow a strong community of dreamers and doers. So Sirle, welcome to the webinar.
Hi everyone, this is Sirle here. I hope you can all hear me. Just John, let me know if you can't hear me too well.
Coming through loud and clear.
Perfect, that's what we want. So I hope everyone's fine. It's most beautiful Wednesday out there. Half the week almost gone, so that's exciting. The weekend will be a long weekend, even more exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to a few days off. Just to get started, I would like to ask you a question, or John, if you can facilitate people raising a hand. I have two questions that will really help me to go through the presentation. First question would be, how many of you who are listening have a small business, or how many of you are thinking of starting one, like in the really near future?
So if you just want to raise your hands by clicking the blue icon, we've got 1, 2, we've got about at least 7 in there. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 of our attendees looks like Sirle.
Fantastic. That's really good. Really, really good. Well, so without further ado, I will get started, and as John said, send through questions and anything you really want to know. Also, throughout the presentation, there will be my contact details and Upower program Twitter handle and Facebook handle. So whenever you want to ask me anything after the presentation, please do so. I'm more than happy to help, and more than happy to help small businesses to get the marketing and branding right. So let's get started. I'll tell you a little bit about Upower Leadership Program, and I'll tell you a little bit about why I started Upower. So as John mentioned, I was media and marketing and social media manager for quite a few very big developers and corporations in Australia. And when I was doing my master's degree in strategic leadership, I sort of realized that in Australia we really don't have lots of help available for females. And some of you might really ask, like, why are females in small business different than males? And you know what? I had exactly the same question, so I started researching it. So by now, I'm 38, I'm still in uni, I'm doing my doctorate, because I want to know why we only have 32% of business owners females and 62% are males. I would like to see it closer to 50-50. So I founded Upower, where we do 12-week small business workshops, coaching and mentoring. And we also do lots of free community workshops and meetup groups as well, where all small business owners can pop in. We discuss the different problems we're facing. We will find the best small business coaches and mentors to give free advice. So altogether, we are actually creating a resilient community. So if you're interested, send me an email later. We will have a next free workshop happening next Wednesday, 6 p.m. You're all more than welcome to pop in and ask all the questions you might have. So we're really trying to build a capacity. And what I mean by that is, if you have a problem in a small business, or let's say you're thinking of starting a small business, and you will have probably these million questions, like what sort of logo should I create? Why do I offer that service? Or why do I offer that product? How do I market it all? Do I concentrate on social media? Or should I go old school and do flyer drops? How do I find all the people who want to buy my product and service? You know, in Australia, the market is pretty saturated. There is a provider for so many things out there already. Small business owners usually stay very local. That means they have a very limited market, actually. So I'm, throughout my business consulting and the workshops and meetups I do, I encourage small business owners to think outside of the box, to really think how you can expand of what you're doing. Because let's be honest, none of you started a small business thinking, all right, I'm going to run my own small business, I'm going to do it until the day I die, and this is my life. I think most of us, like especially me, I want to work really hard for the next 10 years. And you know what? Then I want to semi-retire. To do that, I need to find out how can I develop my business to the level that actually allows me to do it. Also, how do I use these clever branding and marketing ideas so I can capture twice the amount of clients? So I don't have to work until the day I die. I want to retire in 10 years' time. That's my dream, and I'm working on it. So there are all these different tools available. As I said, marketing and branding is just one of the tools available. But let's go through a few of these very simple, everyday tasks we can do, and also clarify a little bit about the difference between branding and marketing. So the major takeaways from today's webinar will be that you will understand what's the difference between branding and marketing, that you will understand how to market yourself as a brand, and I'll come back to that. Why is that so important? And let's talk a little bit about the newest trends as well in marketing to increase visibility. So as the introduction said, we still have a tendency that small business owners I think that brand is something that is really visual. Let's say brand is the sign of your shop, or brand is the logo on your letterheads. But actually, brand is so much more. And there is no point of putting lots of money into marketing if your brand is really not working well with the marketing strategies you have created. So we really need to understand that when we really do branding right, and you know, right is such a word, we never know what it actually means. I guess what I want to say is, if you create a branding what is most likely to appeal to your customer segments, then that in itself already helps you to market way more easily. And obviously, we do marketing because we want sales. So branding is something that really makes your products and services appealing. But marketing, on the other hand, is a vehicle to deliver that message to your potential customers. So first of all, a little bit between the difference between branding and marketing. So as I said, marketing is your message and brand is who you are. If you don't mind, just another quick question. How many of you have a personal brand, or how many of you identify yourself as a face of their business? So if you don't mind raising hands again.
To have 3, 4 people, well, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. 8 people raising their hand and having a personal brand.
Fantastic. Thanks for helping there, John. So as you can see, quite a proportion of you has identified that I am the face of my business. I am the brand. And as I said, branding comes first, and then marketing is the vehicle to deliver the branding. If we don't get the branding right or most suitable to you, then what is the point of really investing lots of money into marketing? Because nobody gets the branding message anyway. So if we think about branding, we want branding to have value. It's intangible value that really adds to the sort of the whole rounded message about your business. Think quickly about Coca-Cola. If you would look at the logo, or if you would think about the messages they're sending through their brand, like when we look at the TV ads, there's always happy people. Coca-Cola is really appealing to very young people these days because it's a really flavorsome and social drink. If you want to be somebody, you drink Coca-Cola. All these different messages, this is their branding message in a very obviously simple terms. So now when we get this branding sorted, who we want to be, how we want to appeal, then comes in marketing. So marketing will help us to promote that branding to the right customer segment. So in that way, just think about marketing as, we would say, buy our product because it has better quality than, you know, the John's next door. So really, really important again to get this product branding right before we start pushing out these messages. And there's a few really clever tools to do it. And I'm a very lean startup business myself, and I've been helping small businesses for the last 10 years as a business consultant. And I see quite often that small business owners want to put money to Google Ads, Facebook advertising, and they think that if they do that, then the customers will find them and buy their products. But this is not how it actually works. To market a brand, it has to be really authentic. You know, like if you think about your own buying habits, we tend to buy the same products over and over again because we really trust this product. We trust what the brand promises. Like, I'm definitely only buying one brand of shoes. And why I'm doing it? Because I know it has the attributes, they should have these attributes that I need. They are comfortable, they last long, they're easy to take care of, and all these things. So this brand for me has that brand value. Customers who really stay loyal to you are the ones who usually bring in the most of the money in your business, and they are the ones who are actually emotionally attached to your brand. Even if you're a plumber or property maintenance guy, they still call you back again and again because the way you have positioned your brand value is something that they like. Maybe your customer service is amazing, or maybe you're always on time, or maybe you answer your emails all the time. This is the brand. This is the brand promise. And authentic brands usually are not made in big marketing companies' offices. Authentic brands, especially for small businesses, is something that you are, something that you do. That's why I asked you the question, like who here is the face of the business or has a personal brand. So if you walk into a room full of business people and you introduce yourself, then if people see you as authentic and you introduce yourself through your business, that's a massively awesome vehicle to translate the brand through to other people. So when we now sort of try to practice creating the brand, there are quite a few things to really think about, because it's very hard to start your business and you're doing bits and bobs and you have a few customers and you keep going, and suddenly you realize that you're appealing to maybe a wrong customer segment, or you're not appealing to customer segment who you want to do business with. So, and it's very hard then to go back and fix your branding. You can always fix your marketing message, but branding in itself, very, very hard to fix. So I'll talk you through probably the simplest and the cheapest and most cost-effective ways. So as I said, you have to determine your brand value in the marketplace. What that means is pretty simple, actually. If you will now do a Google search about the similar businesses like yours is in your area, what are they saying on their website? How people talk about them in Facebook? What sort of testimonials are they getting in Facebook? Does their website look nice and organized, easy to use? And if you would call them, how do they answer the phone? So customer service in itself is a very, very big part of branding, and very big part of very successful branding. So if you think now, some of the bigger companies give you 60 days money back guarantee, or if you're not happy with the product, send it back, you get your full money back and all that. This is actually part of their branding. They want customers to trust them, that they stand behind the product 100%. If you don't like it, send it back. You get your money back. So this is part of branding. And small business owners are always part of the branding. So when I founded Upower, I had to think very, very hard. When I introduced myself at networking events as a CEO and the founder of Upower, how do I appeal to people? What is my message? How do I tell people about what I do? How do I dress? How do I do my hair? Am I wearing makeup or not? We don't realize quite often that it is so important. So through Upower 12-week course, we always help our females who are part of the course to find their authentic self. Because if you start a small business, you are the brand and you are the CEO. So wouldn't it be really nice to walk into Woolies to get some milk and bread in your slippers and PJs, isn't it? Because one of your customers can be there, or if you are standing in that shop there waiting to be served, a person next to you who starts a conversation could have been a potential customer. But do you feel like talking to customers when you are in your PJs and slippers? We really don't. And that makes us usually quite uncomfortable as well. So I always say, whenever you leave your house, always think that you are the company, you are the brand, you are the CEO, and you can't afford to lose any customers because you weren't ready for it. Might sound a little bit too much full on, but if you're a small business, you lose one customer and it can cost you lots of money already. Another thing is finding your brand voice and tone. And what I mean by that is when you look your Facebook posts, if you would let somebody to read, let's say, last 50 Facebook posts you've done as a small business and the Facebook, what are the words they could use to describe you? Like, I just helped a small business owner who has a beauty salon, and she had a very angry customer who weren't happy with the service. She wasn't happy of the price of the service, and it was a very angry customer. And this beauty salon owner replied to the customer in Facebook, attacking back. And this happens quite often. Customer tells you, this is bad, that went wrong. And we want to protect ourselves. And we want to explain to the customer, like, well, at first you were late yourself, and then that really pushed all our schedules, you know, out of the sync. And then we asked you to bring this or that or do this and that, and you didn't. So at the end of the day, it was your own fault because you did this and that. It created such a big problem on the Facebook page for that small business that I had to actually take the page down for a while and just let it cool down. So this is the voice and tone we really have to think about. Or when you reply people via email, I get rude email messages so often from small business owners. And this is not me trying to sell them something or give them advice. This is just me asking about the product or service. Just last week, I sent an email to T-shirt stitching place. One of my clients needed really, really awesome T-shirts done. And years ago, I did some business with that stitching place. So I sent them another email saying, hey, this is what I'm after. Do you have minimum quantities? How long will it take? How much it's going to cost and all that? And I waited 5 days, and then I got the message back. It was full of grammar errors. It was something like, hey, no minimum quantity applies. Check our website for pricing. I was like, what? Do you know what? I don't want to do business with you anymore. And my customer's ready to put a couple of $1,000s to get all these T-shirts done. So this business, because of the employee did not understand the brand and the voice of the tone of this business, they lost business. And you as a business owner wouldn't even know it if you are not the only one who answers these emails or answers the phone. I called a physio a few weeks ago. I needed a new physio, and dialing the number and calling and saying, hey, you know, my neck is really, really sore. Can you sort of fit me in today? I would be so grateful. And literally, this is what I said. And the receptionist said, no, nothing left today. Literally, just this. She could have still said no to me, but in a really nice way, saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that your neck is not in a good way. Look, we are really busy today. But hey, if you hold on a second, I'll find the first possible appointment tomorrow for you. You see, you probably realize now what I'm talking about, the voice and the tone, how different it is. And if you have a small business, and Australian small businesses, 80% of them have only 1 to 4 employees. Each one of these employees has to be so well trained to actually help you to create that brand, what customers like. Because it usually takes one unpleasant phone call or email to lose a customer. Did you know that the average lifetime value of a customer for a small business in Australia is more than $200,000 if you do continuous business with them? Let's say like plumbers do, or property maintenance, or all this sort of service businesses, cleaning businesses. $200,000 if you play it right. And if you're not, you lose that $200,000. We can't afford it. Even if it's over 30 years, still can't afford it. Always also check, when you're thinking about the branding, what are others doing? So for my small business owners I'm working with, I let them to call at least 10 similar businesses in the area. I say call them, ask about their service, create fake Gmail email, send them an email, see how they introduce the products and services and how is the brand working. And the ones you like the most, usually there's one or two only, but really we like how they talk to us, this is who we want to be. So it's pretty simple exercise. It's like mystery shopping. And obviously another part of it is to let your customers' values, hopes and desires to define what your brand is. Do your market research. It is pretty simple to put it out there amongst your friends and people who you know, saying, this is my service, so this is my product, we're selling it with this price, this is our logo, please check our website. Maybe give them 5% off of the next order or something, just to give you feedback. You will find out things you never even thought about. Because in our heads, our business is always this sort of romantic idea, what is working perfectly, and that's so pretty, and we look after it like our own little baby. We are very protective. If we ask others for some constructive criticism, we will find out things that we could have never even thought about ourselves, because we are too close. And when you find out exactly now what your customers really see in your brand, or how the message works, now you can create a really nice marketing campaign to support your brand message. And quite frankly, when you have the branding right, marketing in itself actually is pretty easy. You have pretty clear ideas straight away where you're going with this and what sort of materials and vehicles you will use. So talking about marketing really quickly here. So if you think you have a logo or some sort of package design when you sell products, or you have a business card ready, you have a slogan on your website, people think, this is my brand. I look at it, I feel good about it, logos there, business cards are done, letterheads are done, good. It is really not. This is stationary. This is actually a set of marketing materials, and your slogan is actually a marketing message. Nothing to do with the brand, because there is no emotional value added to that marketing at all. So when we now think about marketing, and especially small business marketing, 90% of small businesses don't have a set marketing budget. So you have your brand sorted out, and you really want to now deliver it to the masses and find lots of paying customers and tell them why should they buy from you, because your product is most amazing. Then quite often small business owners tend to try all these different things what they've heard about. As I said, definitely Google Ads, we try Facebook, we try Instagram marketing, all these different vehicles, and we try to push people to our websites to buy the product or service. But this is not actually, quite frankly, how it works. For you to really make a difference for these consumers and get them to choose your product or service, your brand message has to be delivered through marketing really well. And marketing in itself is actually creating awareness that your brand exists. You have to create that vehicle to push people through your website, and this is where they find out what your brand is actually about. And I'm going to talk about quite a few different vehicles and different new social media sort of platforms you can use for free, because obviously, as I said, we didn't have a marketing budget usually. So why would we just try this, that, and over the year we've just suddenly maybe used $100,000 for marketing, and we've only got 100 clients out of it. So another big thing to think about is, how do you control your time commitment? Marketing in itself takes lots of time, and if you've tried to do it, if you've tried to create a marketing message, if you've tried to think, will I now order t-shirts, or will I now order banners? What sort of flyers should I use if I do a letterbox drop? Or should I market in social media? Or maybe I'm creating blogs for my websites? It is so time consuming, but we can't afford it. We don't have the time. We're working in our business. So you always think that you have to set pretty clear time commitments for yourself to deal with it every day. It has to be constant, because as we are living in that social media era at the moment, The moment you're not visible, you're forgotten. So it has to be constant, but has to be easy, has to be every day. And this is why I always recommend small businesses to create a marketing schedule, which is literally a simple Excel, and you just fill in every day what are you doing for your marketing. Mine is pretty simple. It's like Mondays, I'm always working on a blog with a lovely uni student who is studying marketing. She always helps me with that. Blog goes up on Mondays. On Tuesdays, I'll do a short video about, let's say, some sort of small business problem that one of my clients has told me, and I'm explaining these things. Wednesdays, I'll be promoting my meetups and workshops that are coming up. Thursdays, you get the idea. And good thing with Facebook is that you can actually schedule your posts and promotions. Please use this tool. I usually try to take Friday, 4 o'clock, to try to schedule at least one post a week for my Upower page, because I know myself, if I have a really busy day, I have no time to think about it. If you sit down, push it all out within an hour, then you won't get that panic next week on Sunday. Oh my God, I haven't posted anything for so long. I'll tell a little bit about as well what to post and why to post as well, because I can see there is still so much misunderstanding about how to use social media. Social media is not just to promote your services. Social media is actually to connect with your ideal customers. So I'll look at the different options you have to market your brand for your ideal customers. So Twitter lately has becoming this amazing vehicle of being very constant, sort of you're really being very now, so to speak. And using hashtags. Quite often I have conversations with small business owners and they're like, hashtags are something that only the people do who have nothing else to do, who only sit in social media all day. It should not be like that, because when you use hashtags that your customers care about, then they will see your product, because when you post through your own company Twitter account, then the hashtags you're adding will make relevance to these people. Like I have an example there, like join on weekly hashtag themes like Throwback Thursday. So as your business, you can take a nice photo of a product or a service or something you're doing yourself on that moment, or maybe when you're having a cup of coffee with your customer, and looking really nice and relaxed there, and you can hashtag Throwback Thursday. In anything in that sense, because what hashtag does, it groups all these topics, and if somebody will use the same hashtag, they will automatically see what others have been posting about it. You use your own fun hashtag, and it's becoming more and more apparent that we need to create our own hashtags, because this is part of the branding these days. Obviously, easy for me is to use hashtag Upower program, because that makes really sense. But then one of my friends said to me, but Sirle, you need your own hashtag as well, because all the things you do, and I'm fighting for all this unemployment and youth unemployment and all this, and always sort of really active in social media, not just as part of Upower, but me as well. So I have this fun hashtag happening now, which is Power Princess. I know it's, you know, funny, isn't it really? And you can't take it seriously. But you know, most of the times we really don't want to be seen as too serious, because we're humans. Your clients are humans. If we have a little bit of fun every now and then, it creates that sort of trust in your brand, because you're human as well now. You're not somebody up in a pedestal and sort of distant. One of my good friends and clients is an accountant, and he really helps startups and small businesses, and amazing products and services he has. And his name is Troy, and we created a hashtag for him, Super Troy. So whenever he's out and about, everything he does is hashtag Super Troy. Otherwise, it would be just hashtag Troy's bookkeeping. Not really fun, isn't it? So hashtag Super Troy is something people remember it. He walks into networking events, and because he always wears a Superman T-shirt or superhero T-shirt, people know when he walks in a room, like, ah, you're Super Troy. So this hashtag thing really works when you are the face of your own business. Obviously, sharing others' posts in Twitter, you have to find out what your customers really want or like, or what they are about. If you find that out, where they hang out, which Facebook pages they're always using, what is the topic that is really important to them, and you start sharing these topics and these Facebook posts on your page, they will follow you, because suddenly now you make their life easier, because you're sharing important stuff which is not just about your business or just about your brand, but it's almost like you're luring them in a little bit. You know, it's like going fishing. Get in here, look what I have, and then you turn them into customers. And obviously, I can't stress enough sharing videos. Some of us are really comfortable about taking the short video, saying, hey, you know, this is Sirle here, this is what I'm doing, or I'm having this amazing meeting with that person, or oh my God, look outside of my window, there's kangaroos there, really like my life, hashtag enjoying my life, things like that. So quite often I see the small business owners really using their social media accounts just to push the product or service. Quite frankly, nobody really cares about that as much as they care about what is happening in the world. Like big events in your community, big decisions made in Australian Parliament about small businesses or consumers. You see where I'm going with this. Share the topics that your customers would really care about, and turn them into short videos. These days, only thing you need is an iPhone. Lift it up. Don't worry about editing it, because, as I said, people like to see you as a human, especially when you're a face of your business. The more human you are, the more they will relate to you, and keep posting these short videos. Facebook, very similar to Twitter, but Facebook is a little bit more, it's becoming slower and slower and more as a marketing tool rather than sharing something what happens now. But big thing is when you create a Facebook page for your business, that you definitely ask clients to post testimonials and videos, because this is the easiest free marketing tool you can ever use. So when I started Upower Facebook page, and when I do that for my other small business owners who I consult, the moment they have 3, 4, 5 testimonials going, the traffic increases so well, because people search in Facebook. They search in Facebook, let's say, if you have a cafe, like nice local cafe, and Facebook will match it up if your testimonials have been good. Facebook knows where to send your customers if you Facebook testimonials and videos and you have lots of positive messages there. Create free promotions in Facebook. So many small business owners don't know. If you go to your Facebook page, your company Facebook page, you have those little boxes there. Share a post, share a video, share a photo, and create a promotion. This created promotion is for free, and customers, when they go to your Facebook site, they will actually see there that you have current promotion. It stays there until the promotion ends, totally for free. You don't have to put any money to get it out there. Also, make sure that call to action button is something that you really want it to be. If you just create a Facebook page, it's usually send a message, or it is call now or contact us. Contact us usually goes to website or email address. And for different businesses, you need different call to action buttons. Let's say for a handyman, you need call now, because who would start typing into handyman, yes, I have this problem, that problem at my home. They want to call now. They need to fix that to be fixed now. And obviously, handyman's best customer segment is mums who are at home with kids. They want to call somebody now. They don't want to do it later. So call us now works really well for them. If you have some sort of consulting service, then it makes sense, obviously, send them to your website or put out your email, because you want to know a little bit more about what they need, or you want them to send some pictures with some samples what they need. So always think, what is the call to action button, what it should do, and do you have somebody to answer the phone if it is call us now? As I said before as well, always see what your competitors are doing. Just keep stalking them in Facebook. You see exactly what posts are they making that get the most comments. The more comments you get, the better. Just a few years ago, it was important to get lots of likes. People don't like things anymore because they know that this is how business owners will stalk them and find out who they are. So they look at it, and so many of them won't press the like button anymore. But if they comment, then they are invested. They are invested into the topic. Use the topic. It takes you probably 15 minutes to search similar businesses, what you have, see what are they posting, quickly see which one's got the most comments, and share the similar things. And again, definitely share some short video clips of your day, about your product, how excited you are about things. Ask some of your customers to be in the video with you saying, hey, this service is the best ever. I am so happy with it. Because Facebook videos now get way more exposure than just photos. They say even up to 70% more exposure than just photos and text. So utilize that and just keep practicing. Instagram is another amazing thing where you can just share your photo. And Instagram is the best vehicle to actually push your brand, because if you keep it constant and if you keep the message and the photos constant about what your brand is about, then itself is like a beautiful branding exercise. Also depends where your clients are hanging out. Instagram can be a powerful tool, especially let's say if it's females between 20 and 35. They all hang out there. They like to look at pretty pictures. And sharing on Instagram is so easy. You just take a photo and you just share it, and you need to just add a little bit of text and it's all done. Very easy. Using the hashtags, as I said before, create your own hashtags. Some of them about your product or service, some of them can be just a little bit of fun or something what's happening currently, what you want to share, or explaining your mood. Sometimes that's important as well. Also, when you have time, if you have special big product launch happening, or you're acquiring a new market, let's say you're now from Brisbane, you are starting a new shop or new market, let's say in Melbourne, then you can do a whole event page about it, and people can connect with that event page, and when they share this hashtag, all the photos will end up there. So that's a really easy way to get more exposure about something something important that is happening. And again, share short videos. Like in Instagram, it's really easy as well. You just go share video and you can just lift up your hand, say, hey, you know, this is me here. I had an amazing day today because this and that. Less than a minute, very easy to do. You can do it on the go. Don't need to worry about editing. It goes up there straight away. And it's a very, very good branding and marketing exercise. Few other things, LinkedIn. Quite a few small business owners don't really understand that LinkedIn is where the big money is. Try to have your page up there, and please send your products and services to corporations, because if you can get a corporate client, it pays you usually as much as 100 just one-off clients. And also your website. Just always make sure that it is very relevant. Please share blogs. Blogs are like little know-to-how-to things about your products or services. If you don't have time for that, create an account in Fiverr. Usually it's about $10 to do a short, let's say, 100-word blog. For example, the easiest thing is, let's say, when you're in property maintenance, all the different things that the customers contact you about, each one of them you can turn some sort of property maintenance 101 little blog. And based on the wording in your blog on your website, Google will actually rank your website. And quite often, if you blog about relevant things, your ranking in Google is better than somebody who pays for Google Ads. Because Google likes that organic sort of helping websites, so to say. And as I said, keep it relevant. Keep it always updated. Make sure it looks nice. Website is something people won't forget you if you have spelling errors or weird spacing or video is not working because the link is not working and all that. So try to go to your website almost every day and make sure everything works. And if you use videos and you have a product video or service video and you use YouTube to host them, make sure the links work really well and lead back to the website where people can buy the products and services. And last thing I want to say is post different promotions into deal sites. Quite often they are very cheap to use. Like we have, I think, 10 to 12 different deal sites available in Australia, especially when you're a cafe or you're a plumber or you're some sort of service provider, get 10% off. These deal sites have amazing SEOs. If somebody searches a service like yours in Google, there is a very big chance that a deal site is one of the first ones to come up. Obviously, quickly about email as well. Whenever you send emails, make sure you have your CRM set up so you capture every email that you capture, every phone number, because that will help you to use newsletters and chimp mails to send current offers. We usually don't even realize how many customers we have through our emails, and so many of them are not connected with you in Facebook, so this is another avenue there for a free marketing. And also set rules when you talk to your customers with emails. Nobody wants to wait longer than 5 hours these days to get a reply to your email. If you know you're going to be away or you're out of the town for a few days, make sure you have an automatic response that says like, thank you so much for contacting us. We know your time is valuable. We will get back to you within this time period, and please do it. Very, very big part of your branding. And also going old school as well. Flyers and posters still really work. People like buying local and eating local and using local services. When you use different signage on different streets and all that, keep it neat. That is usually a very big thing I see about small businesses. Their signage or their different marketing materials, what are at the front of their shops, are old and daggy and broken. If you look at that, then you wouldn't really trust that business as much as somebody who has a very neat and nice sign there. So try to keep it always nice and clean. And collaborate. Don't pay for stuff you don't need to pay for. So whenever you're thinking you need help with your branding or marketing or printing or websites, what is the thing you can offer these people back so you don't have to pay $1,000 here, $2,000 there? So most of the things I've done in Upower is actually just a barter deal. They need this and that for their business. Quite often it's about advice about marketing and branding and social media accounts. And I need printing. I need my business cards from them, or I need some flyers from them. So I always collaborate rather than paying each other what we do. I network to find the perfect people who can help me in my business. And I think that brings us to questions and answers. So if any of you really want to ask a question, please feel free to, I think John's going to help us to curate them. And also later on, if you have any questions and answers, I have my email address there. You can also call me, text me, contact me on Twitter or Facebook. But yeah, please send some questions through now as well, so we can maybe discuss what are the biggest sort of problems you see in your small business.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Sirle, for sharing everything with us today. It was great to hear some relatable examples that we can all kind of use in our small businesses. We do have a few questions. We'll start one off the one was emailed through. How difficult is it to change your brand and transition it from a personal brand to something external from just yourself?
It is not actually hard at all, because if you already had a personal brand, it is really related to what is the kind of service and the voice and the tone you want to offer. Now you just have to sort of try to do that exercise where you step out of that circle, what is your brand, and you let others to carry it on, which means you really have to set a very, very good branding guidelines. And branding guidelines are something like you can literally write down in a Word document. Our logo is always used this way. When we reply to emails, this is what we do. When we put Facebook posts, the main tone and voice is like that. It's very important then if you step out as a personal brand and use it as a company brand, that everybody who's ever going to use it will understand the message there. And you can literally train people to do it. What are we about? What should they do if they would be like you? Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's pretty clear and succinct. I think it's important to have those guidelines going forward to get an idea of how to structure your marketing.
Yep.
Now, Dee has put a small essay here, so I'll try to distill out as best I can. And if you want to follow up, Dee, please put it more in the chat. But how can you market 3 similar brands in the same industry, and how do you differentiate those brands without cannibalizing the individual market within them?
Yeah, absolutely. This is sort of a little bit trickier. I guess the most important thing there is to do your market research. And it sounds fancy, but it's actually pretty easy exercise. You can look up, so if you have your 3 different brands and you want to find customer segment to each one of those brands, which is pretty normal. You want to capture wider market, so you try to find different segments. Again, these days, it's pretty easy exercise to go and see what others are doing in Facebook. So if you think you have your 1, 2, 3 different products now, you can definitely find a product that relates in the marketplace with your product number 1. And you can see what they are already doing, what are customers saying about it, who are their followers in Facebook or Twitter, what does your competitor's website say. It's always really hard to just go out there and think, okay, I have to create everything myself, or I have to create something totally new. I always say, try to benchmark yourself and then be better. So sort of finding a consumer or customer segment exercise is very important there, that you do your market research well, because the worst thing you want is that your consumer segment for product 3 will actually like product 1 instead, but because you're not translating that well, you're losing your market share. So always look through. Facebook has amazing analytics, and Facebook has really good searches available. So when you have created your Facebook business page, there is that business manager, like a button there where you can go in and look all the analytics, and you can search other businesses and see their analytics as well. It's all free information, and not many are using it at all.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Sirle. We have another question here from Vinay, who asks, how much do we budget for branding and marketing if we're working on a lean startup?
Very good question. So if you really want to budget well, I would say to start with, not more than 10%. And it sounds like, oh my God, there is almost no money there. If you start a business, let's say with $10,000, you feel like that doesn't go far at all. This is where it kicks in to do that clever branding and clever marketing. If you would sit down now yourself, you can do most of the branding exercise for free by yourself. And if you want to, Vinay, I think you were, if you want to send me an email, I'll send you a link to a website what has 10 questions you need to ask yourself to find what your brand is about. And the moment you realize what your brand is about, what is the tone and the voice, and it's really, really easy to use questions, you straight away will, you can write down all the answers. And if you're now going to go and want a logo that will relate to these answers, then you send that through to whoever you want to design your logo, and they will get it. So if you look at your logo, if you look at your different branding materials, everything they do has to now correlate with that guidelines, these answers to these questions, what you did as an exercise. And get some people in the room with you when you do this exercise. Ask others, ask your friends, ask maybe your neighbor, to really just hear what they have to say about it as well. Because as I said, sometimes we get really caught in that this is our baby and we don't really want to hear others' opinions. The moment you make yourself available to listen to others' opinions, you get your marketing and branding sort of more accurate straight away. Opinion is very important. So yeah, feel free to send me an email. I'll send you through these questions. And as I said, marketing, when you a lean startup, make sure all your social media accounts, you have them all. And this is numbers game. If you have 100 followers in Pinterest, if you have 500 followers in Facebook, 300 people reading articles on LinkedIn, you see where I'm going with that? Suddenly you have 1,000 followers, not just 100, because you add them all together. And people like to share when they like something. If you have all the different accounts sorted, which is a free exercise, then you get so much more exposure. People just find you from almost all sorts of awkward places, but they come back to your website then or your Facebook page. And that's what we can do for free.
Excellent. We'll go for one last question here. How do you source collaborators and partners for your business?
Yep, so very, very important is to find the collaborators and partners. What I mean collaborators is, let's say if I'm now offering a service which is 12-week course for small business, for people who want to start a small business, and I need, let's say, help where I'm going to run these workshops, like the rooms. Rooms are really expensive these days. Or now I need to print materials to run this other workshop. Then do yourself a list what you need in your business every day to really do a little bit better. And then go to networking events and start talking to people. Like meetups are absolutely the best way of finding collaborators. They might need this and you might need another thing, and then you can almost like swap the services rather than have to pay. And another thing why meetups and networking events are really, really important is that you will find out so much new information that you just yourself could have never come up to. Because it's very easy sometimes to talk to a stranger about what sort of problem you're having in your small business. And if you find out what others have been doing, that would really help you. It's almost like you don't have to make that mistake in your business because somebody's already done it who will give you the information. Brilliant. Like finding partners and collaborators, meetups and networking events are very, very good for that.
Excellent. I think we better wrap up there. So, okay, everyone, thank you so much for attending the webinar today. Please remember to download all the handouts before you exit. There's valuable information in them. This webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Impact Innovation Group YouTube page, should you wish to view it again. You will receive an email with information about the small businesses programs, and this will help us tailor our webinars to meet your interests. Thank you very much for tuning in, Sirle. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone else. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
See you guys.